Hello, I appreciate you taking the time to learn about Ryskview. My name is Corey. I am a system administrator for a logistics management system within the Department of Defense. Managing the security of my system used to be frustrating, especially with the cybersecurity team bothering me all the time for POAM updates and other data. They didn't really understand how my system worked and what the true risk factors were. But things got better with the adoption of the Ryskview application. Now, they can properly analyze my system's security risk because we are seeing and updating the same data in real time, and my security mitigations are factored into the score. It's lower and more reflective of my operational environment. Sure, there are still risks, but the cybersecurity team and I track them together with Ryskview. Let me walk you through how I use Ryskview. Our cyber team performs vulnerability scans every weekend on all of our systems and automatically pushes the scan results to Ryskview. So every Monday morning, I log into Ryskview to view the results of the scans. This to-do list tile basically lays out all the things I need to worry about. The unknown asset type is the first line item I decide to tackle. I go to Actions, select the Edit button, and in the Asset Type drop-down menu, I select Medical Devices to identify to Ryskview that this asset is a medical device. Once I'm done, I go ahead and select the Save button. When I'm done with that, I refresh the page to see if my changes are reflected in the to-do list. It looks like it's updated. Now I only have one more line item in the to-do list, Past Due Vulnerabilities without a POAM. I click the line item and select the dental system I manage. I go ahead and select the riskiest asset. This asset has over 126 past due vulnerabilities. I'm going to need to clear that up. I head over to the Scan Data dashboard by clicking the Scan Data link at the top of the page and opening it up in a new tab. Here I can see the system that I am the system administrator of and the vulnerabilities associated with that system. I select the 101 high vulnerabilities in the dental system. The vulnerabilities populate in the bottom panel of the page. I want to check out the vulnerabilities that are associated with the asset that has a high risk score in my system. I grab the asset name from the modal of the past due vulnerabilities, navigate back to the Scan Data dashboard, and paste the name in the search bar in the bottom panel. Now all the vulnerabilities that are being shown are vulnerabilities associated with that asset. This will give me the ability to export all the data associated with that specific asset into an Excel spreadsheet. I like to print out this report in order to help assist me with remediating the risk within my system. I clear out my search parameters and sort my high vulnerabilities based off of the total number of assets affected by each vulnerability. I could also use the other column headers as sorting options. Here, this vulnerability affects all three of my assets. The details indicate this vulnerability is associated with the Google Chrome browser. I want to add this vulnerability to a POAM list, so I select Options and Add to POAM. This will allow me time to reach out to the vendor of the medical devices and plan next steps in order to remediate this vulnerability. By the number indicated in the top panel, you can now see that I only have 98 high unmanaged vulnerabilities associated with my system. The other high vulnerabilities have been added to a POAM. I can view this vulnerability by heading to the POAM Task Queue dashboard. I click the POAM Task Queue link at the top of the page and open it in a new tab. I can see the vulnerability that I added to the list. Here, I can check the details of the vulnerability, add attachments, create milestones, and view the workflow of the vulnerability, among other things. I have many options when it comes to logging my work, from adding a note to the workflow or resolving the POAM by declaring it a false positive or sending to the next step in the workflow with a remediated/risk acceptance request. These will be based on me talking to the vendor and seeing what can be done about this vulnerability. Going back to the Scan Data dashboard, I can see that I still have a good amount of vulnerabilities in my system, many that are past due. I can use the Export All Data to Excel link in the top right corner to create a spreadsheet of all my vulnerabilities for all my systems. I can use this to help assist in my remediation actions. I can also get the same information by generating a report from the report. Scan data. Risk by system page. I filter the results to only include the dental system and apply the filter. I can then export this data to an Excel spreadsheet with all the vulnerabilities of the dental system. Thanks for walking with me on how I use Ryskview to manage and mitigate the risks to my system. With the tools provided to me by the Ryskview application, I can gain a clear understanding of what I need to do. There are a lot more tools that Ryskview has to help you manage vulnerabilities for your system. You can go to www.ryskview.com/knowledge-base to check out articles and videos for a more detailed account on how to use these additional tools and features.